So this patient has a massive herpes zoster in the entire right side of her face, around the lips region, in the tongue, in the lips, and these patches or these eruptions were very, 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 very painful to be precise. So in the pain, her reactions was that she tends to become very, very, very violent. She explains that the pain is very excruciating. So with this excruciating pain, she used to feel that whenever I rub the entire place and I bleed for a while, I feel a little better. My pain ameliorates for a very brief period. Her dermatologist gave her painkillers and antibiotics. Before 2 days, I visited her. During this painful period, she used to feel aggravation from everything, from air, from motion, from sleep, from talking to people, from applying cold or hot application. So the main important modality of the patient was anything whatever she do used to aggravate the pain for her. Sometimes in night, approx at 10:30 or 11:30, or as the time she used to go to bed, the pain become very, very unbearable, as if she want to just stab her face. And so what will happen if she stab the face? Her reaction was that, doctor, I feel immense amount of pain, and the pain will give me amelioration from the previous pain of the herpes zoster. Right now, her mental behavior was that she's extremely violent, and in this pain, she behaves very abusive and sarcastically. She used to speak in a very slang language, and in a very sarcastic manner. Whenever she bleeds, she feels better. And sometimes in deep sleep, she feels a little calm in her pain. While her visits with the dermatologist, he explains that you might go into a type of post-herpetic neuralgia, which is very common in elderly people, can turn or become very violent for you. You might lead or need a painkiller for all of through your life. Her pulse was normal for BP and diabetes. She was on medication. But while observing the patient in little detail, I noticed that these eruptions were very pustular. The patient is visibly in very much suffering. The tongue is very, very painful. So I'll show you the images for a while.
So these are the pictures of the patient. Right now it is visible, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these eruptions were completely pustular and yellow, suppurative, and extremely painful. So if you can observe it very carefully, you might notice that she have a lot of bleeding in these areas. Whenever I used to go there, uska pura ye area, this whole area is like white, because they have to apply something to stop the bleeding. And in this period, started her case. So I believe right now we know the case a little and the modality. What will you do in these cases when the patient will come to you? What will you do? What is your suggestion in these cases? But this patient, our patient with 82-year-old, has completely normal BP. The modality of her complaint is that the pain radiates to ear, and the pain is very, very, very crucial. In acute, especially in acute, we have to give our whole focus on how the body or how our vital energy of the body is responding to the complaint. In this patient, in this case, a very calm lady, a very, very calm lady becomes very acute and violent in her pains. She wants to scratch her. If she won't, this scratching will give her, this pain used to give her a very terrible feeling, excruciating. The eruptions are very pustular. Just, I might have a lot of time, or you might have a lot of time with patient, and you ask a lot of questions regarding her childhood nature, sometimes about her dispositions. But in acute, the mental disposition of the past sometimes doesn't help. So if a patient is in a very terrible situation, a very terrible condition, give all your focus to what is happening right now and try to ameliorate, try to cure, and try to treat that complaint. All the changes, again, while just in these brief data, in this small data, we can notice that all the changes that is happened to the patient, whatever is being happened to the patient during this period, is completely being aggravated whenever she is under any external circumstances, any change in weather, any change in air, any change in touch, any change in her normal behavior used to aggravate her both ways, mentally and physically. So during this period, she becomes very, very, very sensitive to all the external environment and external temperatures. This is the entire data. Neither she gave me any symptoms more than that, neither I have the time, nor I had the patience to just sit with her and probe her mentals in detail, because she was suffering with pain in a very, very observable fashion, very, very severe fashion. What will you do in this case? So this is our patient, and in her herpes, the important thing is not how much abusive or how much calm she is. It is not important that the area of herpes is right-sided or left-sided. It is around mouth or no. The entire phenomena is important. So if you'll read, I had requested you all to read aphorism number 5, aphorism number 72 and 73. So while reading aphorism number 5, you must have realized, or if not, I'll tell you something about aphorism number 5. In aphorism 5, it is clearly being stated by our master Hahnemann that we have to focus on the acute picture, the acute totality, or the exciting cause in acute phenomena. Otherwise, he talks of removing the chronic illness. And in aphorism number 72 and 73, our master speaks that if you don't treat the acute complaint in a well fashion or in a complete way, it might lead into death or termination of the complaint. The complaint will increase very further. So it is very important for us to base our prescription in acute on the symptoms that are very, 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 very prominent in the patient. You can't take a symptom which is not there, and you can't avoid a symptom which is very, very important in the patient. Am I making any sense to you all till now? Hello? Yeah. So while observing this patient in the picture, you will see that her eruptions was not very ulcerative. Though there were bleeding, though there were pustules, but whenever she removes the pustules while scratching, the deep inside is not an ulcer. It's a superficial surface. Our dermis is still prominent. We can see the dermis, and the dermis is clear. It's not ulcerated. The pain of the patient is very violent. So my friend were suggesting that the remedy can be merc iode flavum. Merc iode flavum can be a very good remedy in herpetic neuralgias. But for selecting mercury and iode and flavum, as in merc iode flavum, the ulceration should be very prominent. If we can think of other remedies such as belladonna or thuja, the intensity of pain can be ameliorated by the belladonna, but the eruption along with this severe pain and other modality of oversensitiveness cannot be seen in that. Vihari, Rush Tox is a very good suggestion, and in many patients of mine, Rush Tox ameliorates most of the herpes if the symptoms match completely. But in this patient, the oversensitivity doesn't get ameliorated whenever she goes out. She just don't want to do anything. And the mental totality of the patient in the current scenario is that she is very violent. Rush Tox doesn't show you a picture outright to be a very, very violent person whenever he's in acute. For Miserium Priti, we have to think we can think of maze of remedies. Right now you must have been repertorized. You must have been repertorized this case a little in last 2 days. But while thinking of remedies like miserium, like lachesis, like murk, think of other symptoms also. Think of is the patient is going to be helped with remedies like tuberculinum right now. Tuberculinum is a wonderful medicine. You can give tuberculinum 2 to 3 patients who are very restless with pain or restless with their complaints. But is the totality is covered by tuberculinum? That is the question that we all are here to ponder upon. And the patient is so dreadful with her complaints that either she will stab herself, she will make herself bleed, or she will suffer. We just have 2 options. Again, let's revise our patient's totality a little bit. Patient is very, very, very oversensitive. This is established till now. The patient have pustular complaints, pustular eruptions, very severe pustular eruptions, and these eruptions doesn't ulcerate. Even with 2-3 days of complaint, the complaints are not ulcerating. The patient is not better by anything. Everything, the change of weather, the change in things, is aggravating her complaint. Is kind of aggravating all the problems that she is in. So our remedy should be a remedy which is suppurative, a remedy which is ultra sensitive. One of the most oversensitive remedies of our homeopathic materia medica. So I'll not create a surprise or like a what we call a suspense, and I will just show you what rubrics I have taken and how does it help. So you all can read the rubric. They were very, very common and very, very simple rubrics. Whatever I was able to observe in the patient, I took those as my prescription points. Is the repertory sheet is visible for all?
Sir, no, sir. Picture is visible.
Okay. Just 1 second, my friend. Is the sheet is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these were the symptoms which I had taken at that moment. And in fact, at that point, I was not using repertory. I repertorized the case after I reached home and prescribed the medicine in between my way of traveling. So the most common symptoms like she had herpetic eruption around the mouth, any amount of noise, any amount of things, any amount of touch was aggravating her complaint or aggravating the pain. The pain were neuralgic and extending towards ear. This was the very important symptoms, and only 3 remedies are covering this symptom. The patient, many of the participants had said the rubric is scratching bleeds, and this was a very close symptom, but take it as scratch bleeds until, so you will get a more closer picture. And any amount of draft of air or any amount of exposure to air also used to aggravate her complaint. While just repertorizing these physical symptoms, I came to hypersulf, anacardium, murk, and sulfur. With my understanding of these medicine, in acute case taking or in acute practice, whenever you see these kind of patients who are on a verge of severe pain or who are on a verge of getting an impairment throughout their life, getting a complication throughout their life, you have to be decently skilled in your materia medica. Decent. I will not tell you to become a master and then see acute cases. No, but at least know 50 of the most common homeopathic medicines. Ka basic understanding, the basic pathophysiology, the basic mental, the basic you can say the structure, the basic sketch of the patient of some 50 homeopathic remedies that are going to be your prescription in most of the acutes. So what is hypersulf? I'll just give you a little brief idea of hypersulf. Hip itself is a medicine which is very much pro or very much help the process of suppuration, along with mercury, along with calendula, along with arnica. Hip itself is someone who is very, very violent, gets very impulsive and violent, and in this pains, in this severe suppurating pains of hip itself, there's a tendency to become very violent whenever it's being disturbed. It is being said that hip itself is one of the most sensitive medicines of our entire materia medica. The skin of hip itself is always full of abscess or suppurating. So in this patient, the abscess were not over the body, all over the body, but in a certain eruptions. So I had taken that as an skin eruptions, suppurative. Any injury, any infection, any wound, anything that is there on hip itself skin is going to be suppurate and become very, very, very painful. These discharges which are there in hip itself is sometimes very, very offensive also. This remedy is very sensitive to external weathers. So like mercury, hip itself is also very sensitive to external weather. How the person is going to behave in or live with the transaction of the weather he is right now. Third, while treating this patient, I also thought of that mercury can be a very close. Many of the participants had suggested the remedy mercury, that mercury can be the remedy. But while treating acute cases, this is my, you can say, keynote command request to all the people and all the people who are either attending this course or are going to practice after attending this course. Remember this, that if you are treating an acute phenomena, think of if your remedy can cover the myasm also. If your remedy can think of the myasm, if your remedy has a sphere of action on that area or not. And this is something that I do most of the time. So whenever in acute or in a skin condition, I'm going to prescribe thuja or mercury, I will see that there is an element of psychosis or sickness should be there. It is there or no.
Hello and namaste from Mumbai. I'm very, very excited to share with you that this December we are launching the advanced course on classical homeopathy. So all the homeopaths out there, students, interns, early practitioners, students anywhere, this is the thing you need to join. It's a weekend course, online course. You can sit at home and learn. In today's times, the world has been online. We are going to be talking about 100 polycrest remedies, also rare remedies, organon, repertorisation techniques, advanced level of case taking. Also, we'll also talk about how to use mother tinctures, organ remedies, biochemics. It's going to be one of its kind. Homeopaths across the world are going to be teaching also in this. And I'm working on the content of it very, very closely with the best minds in homeopathy. So I really, really want every single one of you to join us, be a revolution in this field. I'm also going to give a lot of homework to all of you. So be ready for a lot of training sessions with me. Also, there is an early bird offer. So if you register earlier, you will get it at a major discounted rate. And if you already attended my last course, you'll also in this early bird offer, you'll also get the last course, that is the 6-month classical homeopathy course, as a guest access. We are going to increase it for 6 months. So you'll also attend the last course plus this course. So it's going to be close to about 200 hours of classical homeopathy at your fingertips for the next 7-8 months. It's going to be one of its kind. So if you want to be a genuinely good homeopath and a clinician, this 200 hours will take you to the next level. So forget everything else. Forget the Netflix, forget the Amazon Prime, forget the movies, forget the stories. Classical homeopathy at its best. Just email on the below email ID, register, be a part of revolution. Every single one of you listening, hand on heart, join us.